Hello everyone, welcome to Golf Cart Garage. I had to get my buttons right there. Hey, we already got people in the room. What's up, guys? Thank everybody for coming. Let me check Facebook, see if we're rolling over there. Oh yeah, we're rolling over there. Catherine, it's my wife over there from Texas. Dad is, my father-in-law is watching. He's not doing real good. He's doing okay. I think I told y'all that he had some incidents. Well, he ended up having to get a pacemaker. So that's where my wife and Dino and my other dog Tilly. I never talk about Tilly, so that's why she's in the thumbnail this episode. If you'll look at the thumbnail, that's Tilly. Now you think Dino's something, that's something else there, Tilly. Anyway, I am Tim, in case we got new people in here that don't know. I work for Golf Cart Garage. I am part of the Gearheads on Demand service. There's a link in the description that you can click on that will take you to the scheduling page where you can actually schedule a phone call with me and I can talk to you one-on-one. If my schedule is too booked out in advance for you, then we come here every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon Central Time. You can ask me your question live, and I'll try to get to it. I'll get to as many as I can in the live. We usually go anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere in that range here. So I try to get to everybody. So don't hate me if I miss you. You know, well, some people and sometimes people in the group will actually remind me. Gene Hansen, what's going on, man? Mike Irwin, Lloyd Lou, 70 degrees sunny California. It's beautiful today here in central Arkansas, by the way. Beautiful. About the same. We're in the low 70s and sunny. Nice day. Beautiful day. Kurt, what's up, Kurt? Jerry Kelly, Greg Elliott, 68 in Bristol, Virginia. Nice. Larry Consley, greeting from southern Indiana. Rock Dog, 75 in Athens, Georgia. Cool. Easy Mike, South Georgia. What's up, Easy Mike? Mike Camp, Blanchard, okay, 70 and 1.5 inches. Oh, we need some rain. We need some rain. I did say it's a beautiful day, but we do need some rain. It's been quite a while. I think I told y'all one of my jobs is I mow grass for this big ranch. And this is probably the least amount, this season is probably the least amount of times that I've ever had to mow. So I didn't make any money hardly at one of my other jobs this season. Gearheads, what's shaking Craig? What's going on, Craig? Fish, what's going on, Fish? What's up, Tim and everyone? Tehachapi, California. Thank you for coming by, Fish. Steve Kuhn, greetings from Florida. What's up, Steve Kuhn? Michael Cashton. Michael Cashton, nice breezy day here. Thank you for stopping in, Michael. Larry Consley, 68 Madison, Indiana. Craig, I hate it when my buttons aren't right. Nice breezy day here in Odessa. Michael Cashton, I got you. Hello, Tim and fellow viewers. Rich Eastman, what's going on? Lucky Strike. Oh, we got a question in the chat. What's up, Lucky Strike? I'll get you a question in just a second. Keith is the last one that posted there. Keith checking in from Nashville, sunny and 72. That's about what it is here, Keith. Very nice day today. Lucky Strike says, I have a 36-volt DCS EasyGo. Not good so far. Forward and reverse stopped working. I tinkered around with it. Now I only have reverse, regardless of where the forward and reverse switch is set. Looking for ideas of what might be or what to check next. Well, let's see. Your forward and reverse is just on a DCS. It's just that big spinning wheel with the two micro switches. All right, so you fiddled around with it, and now you only have reverse, regardless of the forward and reverse switch is set. All right, if you're sure those micro switches are working, those two little bitty black micro switches, and you're still having a problem with direction change, I hate to tell you, on a DCS cart, your controller is responsible for the direction change in that cart. Okay, those two little micro switches are on that forward and reverse thing. So you need to test those for continuity first. Make sure they're working correctly. And if it's not that, my bet's going to be on the controller, because that was EasyGo's first attempt at a regenerative braking cart. And they only made it for like 2 years. And the controller is definitely a weak point in a DCS. Nate Medlin, 77 in Greenwood, Arkansas. What's up, Greenwood, Arkansas? Right back at you, Nate Medlin here in Central Arkansas. 1990, Ezgo Electric. Do you know the torque specs for the lower rear shock mounts? Has loop bushings and metal eyelets, going with poly bushings, and has Monroe shocks. I do not know the torque specs. In fact, I've done a lot of shocks. I've taken off a lot of shocks, and I do not get that specific with shock bolts. Now, if it was engine bolts, I would want to know torque settings and that. But on a shock bolt, I have never worried about it. That's up to you. I'm sure there is a torque spec for those nuts somewhere. Lucky Strike, it's my first time here, so I'm not sure of the protocol. No protocol, Lucky. Just you keep going. If you need to ask me a question, or if you think you need to talk to me, Lucky, remember I said you can click the link down there and you can schedule an appointment. But I'll talk to you as much as I can here before I lose you. We haven't actually developed a protocol yet. Bruce, Westfield, Wisconsin. What's up, Bruce? Michigan. John, what's going on, John? Don't know about that last name. Let's see. Shearer, John Shearer. Is that close, John? Lucky Strike says, thanks, both switches check good. Looks like I'm in the market for a controller. That would be what I would say, Lucky. Sorry to tell you that, but that's where I would be leaning on that particular electrical system. Sir Walter from sunny North Carolina. What's going on, Sir Walter? Rock Dog. Did I miss you, Rock Dog, up in the beginning? I must have. I must have been talking about something. What's going on, Rock Dog? No, that's right. You told me the weather, where you're at. William Rizzo from, hey, Tim, from Marathon in the Florida Keys. What's going on, William Rizzo? Washing the Harleys today. It's a good day. I was thinking about, it's funny you say that, because I was thinking about washing my truck. This is kind of, anytime I get weather like this, I always start thinking about washing my truck for some reason. I guess because it's not too hot and it's not too cold, because when it's real hot, it's not fun to do. Welcome, Lucky. Send some cool pics to Tim and he will spotlight your ride in the future episode. Yep, that is true, Lucky. If you would like, send some pictures of your golf cart or something cool, golf cart related, preferably, and I will feature them on one of the episodes. Send them to me at 00timfreeman.com. Oh, I'm sorry. 00timfreeman@gmail.com. Stephen Kuhn. Torque for the shocks are 45 pounds. Look at there. Who asked me that? Nate Medlin. Did you see that? Somebody typed in. Stephen Kuhn says the torques for those shocks are 45 pounds. William Rizzo says he just finished washing his truck. Yeah, I may have to do that this week. That's a good weather for it. Let me check Facebook to see what's going on over there. Kevin Fry's on Facebook. 60 and sunny in southeast Pennsylvania. What's going on, Kevin Fry? My wife says I have a nice matching outfit on today. That is correct. See, I have to coordinate. I have to coordinate colors and combinations and everything. And when you're not around to help me, I have to do this myself. William Moore. Good afternoon, William Moore. Let's get to the questions here. Well, let me run some social media stuff. You can follow us on YouTube and Facebook, obviously, but you can also follow us on other platforms. I'm running the links to the other platforms now. TikTok and Instagram. We do have a very large social media presence. And if you would like to follow us on other platforms, you can. But please follow us on Facebook and YouTube and like and subscribe, give a thumbs up. All of that stuff helps with the algorithm. We're always trying to manipulate the algorithm here at Golf Cart Garage. Question number 1. I have a 2004 Club Car Pathway. Every time I hit even the smallest dip or bump, it jars me so bad it almost knocks out my feelings. And it makes things worse. I just upgraded to a 48 volt Lipo and lightened the cart about 500 pounds. I'm planning to change out the leaf springs and wondered what you would recommend. It has a single leaf in the back and a single leaf in the front, and it's not lifted. Thanks. I just read your question, Craig. John said I read his last name correctly. Good. Oh, cool. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know why I enjoy trying to do that. It's unusual last names. I like to try to figure out how to say it. So thank you for letting me know that I said it right. Shearer. That's what I said. Yeah, John Shearer. Okay, this question number one. I named this episode. The name of this episode is lithium and leaf springs, because this comes up a lot. Now I take phone calls all the time, and I have the same question happening all the time, having to do with people that have done lithium conversion. Their cart is now so stiff because it lost so much weight that they want to know if there's an alternative. Well, I don't know of a softer spring. I know of heavier duty springs that would make your cart even stiffer, but I don't think there's a softer setup out there. Sometimes when new products hit the market, they cause a demand for other products that no one even thought they needed. Well, that's exactly what happened here with the lithium stuff in the golf cart world. People started getting lithium, and now that everybody's getting lithium, they're spending the money, they love them, everything's working out really good, so the market's getting a lot of lithium is out there now. Well, we're discovering what's happening. When you do that to your golf cart, everything that they say is true. More power, longer range, everything they say is true. No maintenance. They neglect to tell you that what's going to happen when your car loses 300 to 500 pounds. Well, I can tell you what's going to happen. It's going to feel like a tank. It's going to feel a lot stiffer than it did before. And like I said, I don't know of a softer leaf spring that's why I think this would be an excellent product development opportunity for a softer suspension setup. If you flooded the market with it, you'd sell a gajillion of them. So a softer lithium conversion setup for your Ezgo or your Club Car DS or your Club Car Precedent, because you lost so much weight, you need a new suspension system. They would sell, and there's no doubt about it. It just seems like a good product opportunity for someone that no one's taken advantage of yet. Easy Mike, 2 options. Lower tire pressure, and if running low profile tires, get rid of them. That's exactly right. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You can add a big woman to the passenger seat. Now that would help too. Yeah, you could add a big woman, but you might not want to do that all the time. You could add lead weights to the battery compartment. Yep, you could do that, but then you're losing the advantage of your new power to weight ratio. When you did that, your power to weight ratio went off the chart. Everybody wants a good power to weight ratio. At least I do. In racing, that's all I worried about on that car was my power to weight ratio. That's why I was manipulating the batteries, but it still has lead batteries in it. If I drop a lithium pack in there, it would be insane power to weight ratio. But that car, it's pretty stiff itself. It's not very heavy, even with the lead batteries. Anyway, I get off topic. Air ride for golf carts, something like that. I'm just saying there needs to be a lithium conversion suspension kit. That's what there needs to be. That's what the product needs to be. I can see it. I can see it now. I can see the ad for it now. Ezgo TXT lithium conversion suspension kit. And it would include leaf springs that are softer. It may include different shocks, but it's for a lighter vehicle. Yep, if your stock leaf springs have 2, yeah, you can cut some lengths or the short leaf. Yeah, you can remove them if you have more. But a Club Car DS has got 1 leaf in the rear. It's just a 1 leaf and 1 leaf in the front. There's nothing you could do. Besides do your air pressure and stuff. But this question comes up a lot, and that's why I think somebody that is missing an opportunity there for a product that would sell for sure. Rich says he's got a big woman available. Bring a trailer for detail. Yeah, Craig, that's right. That's right. Maybe we need to talk about that. Have our own product that nobody has, and develop our own kits, our own suspension kits for golf carts. Because I'd want it to be a complete kit. I'd want it to be complete bolt-on, including new bushings and everything. You know, that change the front leaves, change the rear leaves. Number 2. This is from Charles. I have a 93 Club Car DS gas. The oil is mixing in with the gas. I thought a tune-up kit and fuel pump would be a good place to start to fix this. Any other recommendation? I don't think a tune-up only consists of a tune-up kit only consists of the spark plugs, the air filter, and the fuel filter. None of that is going to have anything to do with what's going on with your car. It sounds like to me that you could have a problem in your carburetor, and none of that stuff is going. None of that tune-up kits products is going to do anything with that. Your carburetor float bowl, you know, there's a device in there called a float bowl, and there's a needle and seat. Let's just say that that this is the float. My finger is the float, and this is the needle. And it's usually like this when there's no gas in it. And then gas starts coming into the float bowl, and it rises and pokes this needle up into a slot that closes off the gas flow. Now, if your needle and seat's not closing, you're still letting gas go into your cylinder, and then it could be draining down and getting into your oil. That could be the one way that you could be getting gas. That's most likely the way that you're getting gas in your oil. So you might have to look at that. You might have to remove that float bowl and see if that remove the carburetor, and then get into the float bowl and see if that needle and seat possibly sticking. Number 3. This is from Simonell. Simonell. I don't know if I got that one right or not. So I'm doing a conversion to a controller on my 84 Marathon resistor car. All right. It tells me what controller you have. My issue is I got it before I realized that all the pot boxes that I could find are 0 to 5K resistance for the throttle input, and the controller requires 5K to 0. I've been told that you can resolder a couple of connections on the inside of the PB6, but awaiting confirmation. Have you heard about this or have an alternative solution? I have heard about this, and you're right on the 0 to 5K stuff. I don't know if not very many people even know about all that stuff. 0 to 5K and 5K to 0 on throttle input. But this all has to do with ITS and M-Core and V-Glide and all the different throttle inputs. They have different types of signals that they send. Well, 0 to 5K is the most common. That's why I had to change the ITS out of that race car. I had to change it to a 0 to 5K potentiometer before I could use the controller that I wanted to use, because the controller that I wanted to use did not accept ITS input, and not a lot of controllers do accept ITS input. So I understand what you're saying. Now, as far as how to fix this, I bet what you were told about soldering the wires on the inside of the PB6 is correct. I bet that is correct, but I don't know for sure. If I was you, I would go over to buggysgonewild.com and look in the extreme DC section, and I bet you can. There's even a design section over there on Buggy's Gone Wild, the forum, buggysgonewild.com, and read about 0 to 5K and 5K to 0 stuff, and I bet you'll find your answer. But I would also try this. You know how you check it? You check your PB6. They've got 2 wires coming out, and you can put your voltmeter on ohms and put your voltmeter in the 2 wires, and you can press your accelerator pedal, and you can actually see the 0 to 5K happen. The first thing I'd do is I'd switch my leads around and see if you see 5K to 0 happen instead of 0 to 5K. If that works, then all you got to do is switch the black and white wire around on top of the controller. But I'm not sure about that one, but I'd try that. You know, that's how you would test that first. I know that was a very long answer. I'm sorry to that question, but you start talking to me about racing stuff, and I'll go on all day. D-Max, what's up, D-Max? Tim, do you know the regular 6-inch DS lift kit in the front come with 2 leaf springs? Can you remove one at least to ride smoother? I'm not sure if you can, you know, if they're made to, if you can do that or not, but you'd have to, that's going to be particular to that lift kit. Now, which lift kit are you talking about? You talking about a 6-inch rocks lift or 6-inch MadJax? It's going to be, it just depends on, you know, which one they use. But I bet you can. I bet you could remove one. Paul Fortune. What's up, Paul Fortune? Has a 2002 Ezgo TXT PDS 36 volt. Will not run. Shunt motor works. How can I check the ITS? I suspect that the PDS is bad because I do not get any voltage on the first position. Does the solenoid click? Here I go, Paul. The Big Mike says I ask that all the time, but yeah, I would want to know, does the solenoid click? D-Mac says it's so stiff, it's a MadJax. Yeah, I'd have to look at it. I don't know off the top of my head if you can remove leaves off of that or not, but yeah, I wouldn't like it if it was so stiff. You know, one of the, let me close this question. One of the smoothest riding cars I ever had was a lifted Ezgo Marathon on 22s, but it was 22-inch tires on 8-inch rims. So 22-inch, I mean the opposite of low profile. But that thing just floated, and they were knobbies. You know, that thing would just float through the woods, you know, with 1 or 2 passengers on it. It felt like he was just floating. I mean, I don't understand why people wouldn't want their ride to be like that, you know, instead of stiff. I don't like stiff. Gary England. What's up, Gary England? Let me check Facebook before I go on. Let's see. William Moore on Facebook. What's going on, William Moore? Lynn Scrapper, forgot to check in with the weather report for Orange County, New York. Partly sunny and 60. Cool. We're going to be getting there, I guarantee you. Uh-oh, we got somebody else on Facebook. Got my brother. You know, sometimes my mother comes in. Now you got my brother. He's on Facebook. Hey, brother, watching from Natchitoches. Cool. Anybody on Facebook? You can see him over there. Oh, D-Max says that's what he's looking to do is get some fat tires. Yeah. Well, it gives you more, you know, gives you more choice in air pressure when you have an 8-inch rim and a 22-inch tire on there. You can adjust a lot of air pressure. I have replaced the solenoid. I do not hear a click, Paul said. Well, Paul, I would check if that's the case on a PDS, the first thing I'd check would be the micro switch that's down there with the ITS. I checked the micro switch. You probably already have that open because if you're doing any type of ITS test, there is a test for the ITS. I can't remember the exact colors of the wires, what you're testing for, but I think you're testing for 0 to 14 volts on a specific wire, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I was going to do number 4, and I got distracted there. All right, I removed one of my 6 batteries to take it to the car shop to test it. It proved to be okay. It was the first battery off the motor, and when I reinstalled it, I installed it wrong. It should have been positive to negative, but I installed it positive to positive. I knew to wire it back in series, but it was dark, and I misread the battery. I charged the car. Oh, that's not good. I charged the cart, though, 2 11-hour cycles before I noticed the mistake. The cart moves very slow. What could I have ruined if this is fixable? Okay, it might be fixable, but first of all, make sure, wire them back in series first. Put them back in series. Then take your voltmeter and check voltage on each battery. All right, each battery. You can do that. You don't have to disconnect any wires. When they're wired in series, you don't have to disconnect anything. Check your battery voltage on each battery. What'd you tell me it was? Is it a 36 volt car? Or you didn't tell me? Okay, if you got 6 volt batteries, you should have 6 point something volts. If they're 8 volt batteries, you should have 8 something volts, 8 point something. Or if they're 12 volt batteries, then it should be 12 point something volts. So check each battery. See if you find any that are way out of bound or out of range or out of balance, you know, on voltage. All your batteries should be relatively the same. I would have to know that first before I could give you some advice, because I'm not exactly sure what happened if you charged them in that configuration. Oh, number 5. Oh, my TV went to sleep. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Hey guys, I got here in time to see it close. Oh, Paul says, this is my mother's EasyGo and first time working on an EasyGo. Where is the ITS? Okay, Paul, the ITS is under your floor mat. So if you're gonna check anything having to do with the ITS on an EasyGo, then you have to remove the floor mat. And it's not real easy to do. You have to take those, what they're called seal plates. They're 2 silver on the sides of the floor mat, you know, right there where your feet are, but on the edge of the golf cart. You got to remove those, and then the floor mat can come up and get out of your way. And then there's a little, there you'll see the lid. It has 4 screws in it. That's the lid for the ITS compartment. Inside there is the ITS and that micro switch that I'm talking about. Now, if that micro switch checks out and your ITS test check out, it's very possible your controller's bad on that cart, because it's involved in the solenoid activation circuit, and you said your solenoid wasn't clicking. Where was I at now? Number 5? Yeah, number 5. This is from Peter Rowe. I have a 2010 Ezgo TXT 48. There's a gray covered electrical line coming out of the charger port that also has a black box in line right before it hooks into the number 1 battery plus terminal. The line broke right at the black box, and I need this line. It has 2 wires in the gray insulation cove. Can I just get this line, or do I have to buy a new charger port? Peter, I checked. We don't have just that line. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're probably going to have to get a whole new charging port if you want to go aftermarket. Now, if you get in touch with EasyGo and try to go OEM, you might be able to get that line. But OEM price for just that line is probably going to be, if you can get it from OEM, there's no telling how much that costs. It probably costs as much as a brand new, full, complete aftermarket charging port. Number 6 is where I'm at. My wife wished my brother a happy birthday on Facebook. Big Mike. What's up, Big Mike? Yeah, you are. Hey, everyone. Sorry I'm late. No problem, Mike. I'm glad you showed up. We are on number 6, by the way, of the regular questions. I put a MadJax lift on my 2011 Club Car Precedent, and now the brakes are locking up. It seems the driver's side cable is a little short, but the passenger side is fine. I was wondering if I could use a passenger side brake cable on the driver's side. I read that online, but I'm asking if you think that's okay. Yes, I do think that's okay, and that's a common problem with some lift kits. Some lift kits don't take under consideration that the brake cable is now almost too short. There are some lift kits that do take that under consideration, and they give you a little extension that you can do that with. But if the passenger side brake cable or driver side, whichever one, is longer, then yeah, you can do that. That's not a problem at all. That'd fix your issue. Then you could take a zip tie, if it was too long, you could take a zip tie or something and route it and make your own little routing just so it doesn't hang down too low. Let's see. Paul Fortune, I do not have any voltage in all of the 4 lines in the toe switch. Okay, that's not where I'd be going yet, Paul. I'd be going to the micro switch under the floor mat if your solenoid's not clicking. Rain Man says, what kind of dog is that in the thumbnail? That's Tilly, Rain Man. That's our dog, Tilly. And she just showed up in our backyard when she was about 7 weeks old. Showed up on the verge of death. I mean, she had been eaten up with ticks and chiggers, and I don't know where she came from. So obviously my wife, you know, had to keep her. And she's, oh my God, she's healthy as she can be now. She's 3 years old now. That was 3 years ago that that happened. Well, you said, what kind is she? We had her DNA done. I mean, she's obviously mixed, but I don't know how much people believe in that stuff or not, but we did have her DNA done. And believe it or not, the dog that she has the most in her is a Great Dane. That's what she had the most in. And then there were several other things down the line, like lab and some other stuff, you know, but small percentages. But the most percentage that showed up in her DNA was Great Dane. And if you look at her from the side, she looks exactly like a smaller Great Dane. She is solid muscle now. I mean, she is fast. She's crazy fast. So she's a kind of a miniature Great Dane, but she's not too miniature because she is over 70 pounds. That's not a small dog, but you know, not as big as a Great Dane. But Craig says, happy birthday, Mr. Freeman, to my brother. Thank you, Craig. Big Mike. Good news, Kevin and I won our categories. Now we're both on the overall championship vote. You talking about for your, the Griswolds cars? Cool, with the Christmas vacation decoration. Oh, cool. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, I don't know how many people love that movie, you know, as much as I did, but I would think it would be a lot because it was funny. Every time I think about some of the scenes in that movie, it was funny. I'd bust out laughing. I even liked the one where they went to Vegas, too. David Taylor. Hello, Tim from North Florida. Hello, David Taylor. Let's see where I'm at here. Number 7 on the regular questions is where I'm at. We're doing good. This is from Bobby. A 36-volt battery meter has the red light bouncing from 0 to the next line. What does that mean? Well, the first thing that I would want to know is I'd want to know your batteries, your actual voltage. You know, those meters are notoriously inaccurate, and I never trust them when all I have to do is put the leads of my voltmeter on the batteries themselves and check that. I want to see what your batteries themselves, like I'd want to know what your each individual battery voltage is just by touching each. You don't have to disconnect anything. And then I'd want to know what your entire battery pack voltage is, because that meter is hooked to your battery pack, and its position is determined by the voltage. So you're checking the source when you do this. You're checking the source that meter is getting a reading off of. So if that meter's being erratic, that's the first place I would go. Big Mike says the kids didn't get it as much as the parents were rolling though. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I said that. I said I don't know if the kids are going to understand it. I said, but the older people definitely will. Kurt, oh, you're trying to start trouble, Kurt. It says, sounds like Tilly gets fed better than you. Yep, that's right. That is right. And Dino. Oh, I bet Dino has a spa appointment to get his nails done this week. If he hadn't already. He may have already been. He's probably at the spa today. And I'm still, you know, trying to find some toaster leavings. Thanks. I know how to get to the ITS. What is the key item to check to see if the controller is bad? The best way to check if the controller is bad on a PDS card, like you have, is to eliminate everything else first, and it's the only thing left. In other words, you check your micro switch, like I said, if your solenoid is still not clicking, then it's likely the controller. So if you want to, you can do the motor test. There's a motor test for your car. You can isolate the motor and check the motor. And the only two things left there are going to be solenoid and controller. That's the only two things left. Okay, number 7 or 8. I'm on number 8. Will the leaf springs replace the shock? This is from Ann. Not sure what you mean there, Ann. Will the leaf springs replace the shock? See, the leaf springs hold your cart up. They hold the whole weight of your cart. You could have the shocks removed. They could be gone. They should not even own the golf cart. And you could go sit on the golf cart and feel exactly the same. Because the shocks don't do anything. They don't have anything to do with holding the cart up. They're not holding any weight whatsoever. You can take your shocks off and you can push them in and out with your hand real easy. They're just there to dampen the blow. And what I mean by that is when your suspension collapses from hitting a bump, that shock makes it a little bit harder to compress when you try to do it fast, like a bump or so hitting it. So they just dampen the blow. So leaf springs do not take the place of the shocks on a golf cart. You still have to use them. You don't have to use them, but they're designed to be used. Paul says the motor has been checked and it works. Well, see, we're getting closer and closer, Paul, to the controller being your issue. William Moore on Facebook says, every year I laugh, finish watching Christmas Vacation. Yep, I like them all, William. I think they're all funny. What about the one where he jumped in the family truckster? He did the jump. Yeah, it's a shunt wound motor on a PDS, Paul. Yeah, you wouldn't do a series test, you'd do the shunt wound test on that motor. Number 9. Went to replace the rear shocks on my golf cart, and the ones that came off are 18.5 inches. The replacements are only 14. Do I need to expand the new ones? That's from Benson J. Not sure exactly what you mean there, Benson J. Shocks are made to contract and expand, so put them both in the compressed state, and then if they're the same length in that state, then that's fine. But if they're not, or if they're not the same length completely wide open, then it might not be the right shock. Paul, okay, well now you got it, Paul. It is definitely a shunt wound. Number 10. This is from Alan. I have an Ezgo PDS, just like Paul, and the solenoid is not kicking in. Is your other name Alan, Paul? Because this is the same question that we've been talking about. I have an Ezgo PDS and the solenoid is not kicking in. After troubleshooting, it appears that the previous owner tried replacing the solenoid. It looks like they've replaced it, but left out the diode. Will that prevent the car from running? Any assistance is greatly appreciated. Okay, this is what would make me suspicious there. Anytime someone does solenoid work, it makes me nervous, because especially when they mess with that diode. Because if you mess with that diode on the solenoid and you accidentally put it back in the wrong direction, some electrical backfiring stuff can happen. And one of the things that can happen is that it can pop that micro switch that's under the floor mat. I've seen that happen. If you install the diode backwards, as soon as you hit the gas pedal, boom, you'll hear it, and it will pop that micro switch, completely blow it up in the ITS compartment. So the fact that they put that solenoid back on without the diode makes me nervous that they may have figured out that it was the wrong direction and they took it off. The cart would run with it off, but you got to fix the micro switch now. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'd be leaning toward on that one. So be careful, Paul, if you do anything with your solenoid, make sure you take note of the diode. Now, if it has a resistor across the big post, don't worry about that. It can go either direction. But if it has a diode between the small posts, you got to make sure that it goes back exactly the same way. Okay, we don't have any let's see stuff to do this episode. So if anybody would like to get their cart featured, please send me some pictures. You can send them to me on my regular email address, or you can send them to support@golfcartgarage.com, attention Tim, and I'll get the pictures and I'll feature your pictures on one of these episodes. That's the contact information, by the way, for us at golfcartgarage.com. If you have any questions or you have any advice, if you have any product suggestions or anything that you think that we could do, we would be interested in hearing it. So give us a shout, either at the phone number or the email address, or talk about it with me, whichever way you'd want to do it. Also, you can buy that diode, Paul. Go to golfcartgarage.com and see if we have it. I'm almost sure that we do. You can buy that diode, golfcartgarage.com. And I'll go ahead and do this. You go to golfcartgarage.com and you use this. Bam! This is a coupon that you can use at golfcartgarage.com to get 5% off any parts you order if you use coupon code TIM15. TIM15. This code expires on November 10th, 2023. So there you go. You might ought to look into getting a wiring diagram too, Paul, if you're going to start taking things off and putting things back on. That would be very helpful. TIM15 is the coupon code. All right. Don't have any let's see stuff this week, like I said. So if you would like, send me some pictures. Send me some pictures. Send them to 00timfreeman@gmail. 00timfreeman@gmail. And or to support, either way. Attention Tim. I'll get them either way. And it looks like that's going to be it. We did the social media links, we did the coupon, we did the hat, we did the contact graphic, and I talked about the title of this episode with the opportunity for a new, that's right, Gene. I talked about the opportunity for a new suspension system for lithium converted golf carts. I wanted to get that out there. If you would like to purchase a hat from golfcartgarage.com, like the one you see here, then you can. There's the hot links in the description that'll take you right to them. There's the variety of hats right there that we sell at golfcartgarage.com. There's a link downstairs just for each one of them. Take you right to it and get yourself a hat. Now, occasionally we do give a hat away on this episode, and Gene, who just reminded me about the hats, is one of the past winners. You can see it. He's wearing it in his avatar over there in the chat thing. Fish says, product suggestion. Well, Fish, you got all kinds of good product suggestions. You said something last time about that other hat. Yep. T-shirts, the logo on your hat on the left chest, and the big gear on the back. They will sell like hotcakes. You're welcome. Now what do you mean the logo on the left chest? Oh, T-shirts. Okay, the same logo, this logo right here on a T-shirt. There you go. I got you. And then this gear, like this gear on the back of the T-shirt. Oh, okay, cool. I like that. I'll take notice of that. See link below. Thanks for the help. Have a good day, Tim. Thank you, D-Max. I know you got to go. I know you're on your lunch break. Greg M., I have a 2014 Precedent that is in pretty good condition. I'd like to upgrade the cart with lithium. I'm having a hard time figuring out if it's worth it to upgrade or just buy a new cart. Thoughts? Now, the upgrade to lithium is expensive. It is. It's not as expensive as it used to be. I mean, it's actually better than it used to be. So the prices are coming down, but you're still, depending on how much range you need, you're still looking at anywhere from $1,800 to $3,000. So, but if they do what they claim as far as the longevity, you will never have to buy batteries again, most likely. So that's up to you on that. Everything that they say, every good thing that they say about them is true. I can tell you that. All the good points that they say about lithium is true. But the only thing that we do not know is longevity down the road, like 5, 6, 7 years from now. Are you still going to have a good lithium pack or not? Lucky Strike says, can the controller be repaired or do I have to buy a new one? It can be rebuilt, Lucky. You can send it to a company called FSIP. That stands for Flight Systems Industrial Products. You can call them, look them up on the internet, call them first, see if they'll take individuals like yourself, just single controllers. I used to use them when I was a dealer, but I would send them a lot. Big Mike says he'd be in for a shirt. Cool. I'll take your design, Fish, under consideration, and I'll have my wife draw it up, and I may send a proposal to Golf Cart Garage for an idea, since y'all say that they think that would be a good idea. Big Mike just needed in a big size. I wasn't going to say anything about that, Big Mike. That thought never even crossed my mind when you said you was going to be in for a shirt. I wasn't going to say anything about, well, I don't know if we got that much material. I wasn't going to say anything like that, but you did. I rode in my first lithium cart Saturday. Cool. I weighed 350 pounds and it did a wheelie and got to 41. Now see, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty strong. See, that's what I'm telling you, Lucky. Or no, not Lucky. He was asking me about the lithium. Greg M. That's what I'm saying. Every good point that they say about lithium is true. I know that for a fact because I talked to a lot of people that have done it. You just got to, be ready for the cost. Let me check on Facebook. We're good. Everything's good. Let me check back over here. How do I know what to ask for in a diode? That's what I said. You might need to get a wiring diagram so you make sure you get the right diode, because this is what you need to know when you're looking for parts for the Ezgo PDS. You need to make sure that everything that you're looking for is for an Ezgo PDS. Big Mike 36 or 40, John Schneider at Big Mike 36 or 48. Yeah, Big Mike. I'm assuming that was a 48 volt car, but I'd like to know too. Okay. Paul Fortune, thanks. You're welcome, Paul. We come here every Tuesday and Thursday, Paul, 12 noon Central Time. Y'all sell the different gear, Stephen Kuhn, do y'all sell the differential gears for Ezgo? Yes, I believe, yes, we do. And we don't sell anything slower and more torquey. We sell faster gears. There used to be a set for Ezgo that was 15 to 1. Now, I don't know if that's still available or not, but I was looking the other day on our site, and that would be slower than the stock gear. Stock gear is like 12.44 to 1 in an Ezgo. 15 to 1 is going to be like hill climbing torque, but it's going to reduce speed a little bit. And then 8 to 1s is a little faster, a little taller gear set is what we call them in racing. And then you got 6 to 1s, which is the tallest gear set that you can put in an Ezgo. So if you've got good power, you can pull those taller gear sets, but you got to get your power down first. Make sure you got good power, or that taller gear set's going to hinder your pulling power. He had dual 105s. I bet you that was 48 volts. He had dual 105s in parallel. Or he had, he had dual, if he had dual 105s, they were in parallel, yeah. And that would be, that would actually make it 2 210 amp hour. So tremendous range. It was originally a 48 volt TXT. Yeah, he put dual, probably, was it Allieds that he put in there? 2 dual 105 amp Allieds. Need them for the big cart. Rich says if he's doing wheelies in 41, we think it's an AC conversion as well. It's very possible, yeah. That's pretty good numbers. And I've heard of customers that have the full AC conversion, and they're talking about close to 40, you know, when they did some tweaking. I might have to get that AC conversion. I'd want it in just a regular low-down street car, though. I wouldn't want it in the lifted. I'd want it just low down, just all street. Rock Dog says, I used my cart all day Saturday to haul a 6x12 trailer loaded with band equipment for a marching competition. Was carrying whatever got loaded to the parking lot, the field, about a mile. Yep. Remind us again, Rock Dog, about your setup. I know it's lithium. They were black and green. I thought Ecos, I'll ask when I get back to you. Well, black and green, that would be, it wouldn't have been Allied. Allieds are going to be blue. The 105 amp hour Allieds are going to be blue. Probably Ecos. Yeah, you're probably right. Rich Eastman says AC sleeper. Yeah, that's what I'd like, Rich. That's what I would want. I wouldn't want it to be too fancy, but, and plus I want to retain all that OEM suspension, you know, all of that. I don't want to mess with that. I want to leave it right where it's at, you know, all that stuff. I don't like messing that when I'm talking about speed. I don't really like to change that too much. AC sleeper would be cool. I mean, I got a DC sleeper right there. It could easily go AC. All right, guys, that looks like it's going to be it. Today is Tuesday, the 24th. We will be back on Thursday. Okay, Rock Dog his setup is 160 amp hours on factory motor, factory controller, 2017 RXV. So he's got a 2017 RXV, that's stock controller and stock motor, converted to lithium to 160 amp hour. See, that's pretty cool. All right, that looks like it's going to be it, guys. I want to thank everybody for showing up this episode, and please come back again. Big Mike, appreciate you being here. Rock Dog, everybody, I appreciate y'all stopping by. Rock Dog's cart will run 30 all day. Fish, thank you for stopping in on your lunch. Oh, that's not you. That's D-Max that stops in on his lunch break. All right. Well, you know, I'm having trouble keeping up with everybody. Let me check Facebook one more time. Looks like everything's cool there. All right, guys. I will see everybody on Thursday, 12 noon Central Time. The garage is now closed.